Hello, I'm Jerry King, Leadership Candidate Specialist at Georgia College and State University. I want to talk to you today about coaching a championship team. A little bit about me first. I've been teaching for 20 years in the social studies field. I've taught history, psychology, sociology, civics, all of the broad field social studies topics. I've taught everything from 6th grade to 12th grade. I've also had several leadership opportunities. I've been a department head. I've served on the County Technology Committee, the School Improvement Committee, the County Improvement Committee. I currently serve on the Leadership Committee at our school in Banks County. I'm also the Athletic Director at Banks County, and I've been doing that for the last 5 years, as well as a head girls basketball coach for the last 7 years. I've been coaching for over 20 years, and I feel that these have given me some real great opportunities to develop leadership skills. However, today I really want to focus on the last 10 months in the leadership program at Georgia College and State University. In order to show that I feel like that I have become a very good leader, I'd like to focus on these standards. The first standard really is about developing, facilitating, articulating a vision and putting that vision into place and seeing how it works. This goes along with a lot of the things you do as a coach. Every team needs to know where they're going and why they're going there. In order to do that, it's very important to establish a vision. After you establish a vision, you want to recognize what you're really strong at doing and what you really need to improve. Develop some goals, create a plan to put those goals into place, and then eventually evaluate your goals. At Georgia College and State University, one of the things that we do is we develop a change initiative. I really focused on two things to work on changing in our school. And to do that, we did a capacity assessment. We looked at all of the things that we were doing in our school and tried to think of some weaknesses that we had and some ways that we could get better. It just so happened that as I was going through this program, we also went through the SACS committee report. One of the things we identified as problems was parental contacts. We noticed that there were a lot of problems with teachers notifying parents. So we really wanted to improve on that, to give students more of an opportunity to be able to pass their classes, give parents the opportunity to be parents, and work with teachers and helping those kids. We also looked at differentiation and ways that we can improve differentiation in the high school. The Department of Education rolled out the TEACS plan, and one of the standards in there is differentiation. However, there's not been a lot of training as far as differentiation goes. So we really wanted to focus on parental contacts and differentiation. We put in this timeline to implement our communication with parents. And we followed that timeline in developing a committee to really think about the problems and look at the problems teachers were having. We surveyed the teachers on SurveyMonkey about problems they were having. We tried to eliminate all those roadblocks the teachers were having in identifying and communicating with parents. This worked out really well. If you notice, 2013-14, the number of failures compared to 2014-2015 dropped. Also, the number of parental contacts we had increased. So this is the idea of looking, articulating, and facilitating that vision. We also looked at differentiation, and we formed a committee to look at ways to improve on differentiation. And we really wanted to give teachers some quick, easy ways to implement differentiation in the classroom. The way we evaluated this is we asked and we looked at the way teachers had incorporated differentiation in their planning and in the techniques that they were using in the classroom on checklists that we went through. You can see that there is an increase in the number of lesson plans that included differentiation, as well as the number of walkthroughs that identified techniques being used. This is a chart to show you this. increase of how comfortable teachers felt using differentiation. One of the problems that teachers said that was the amount of data they had and not how to really use that data. So we really talked about using different ways of assessing student knowledge at the beginning of a lesson and then being able to differentiate in that lesson. And teachers felt like they had much more opportunities to differentiate and assess student knowledge after the training. You see the number of walkthroughs, the increase, as well as the evidence and planning. Standard 2 really talks about developing a school culture. And this is very important in a small school like Banks County. We really want to promote a culture of positivity, of celebrating and rewarding hard work. As a team, you want your team to work hard, work together, and work effectively. We talk about this all the time with my basketball team, is that we want to work hard, work together, but most importantly, we want to work effectively. One of the ways we want to talk about working hard is rewarding hard work. People like to be recognized. They may say they don't like to be recognized, but people like to be recognized for the hard work. One thing that I did constantly was send out emails recognizing those that went above and beyond. We had a slushy day for teachers that worked on the Georgia milestones. We provided lunch for administrative assistants. We fed actually the entire faculty after testing. This is just an example of one of my emails thanking all of those that worked on Honors Day and helping make that a success. This is an email that we sent out providing lunch for all the teachers that had proctored the Georgia milestones. Working together. We developed these team leadership meetings where the groups would get together, sit down, and talk about ways to improve parental contact as well as differentiated instruction. This is an example of a research paper I did and incorporated a meeting in effective meetings. This is one of our team leadership meetings. In this meeting, we're looking at ways to increase differentiated instruction. This is actually a formative assessment training we had. You can see where the teachers have gone around and put up questions. Some of these are good questions, some are bad questions. The ones that are good, the teachers had to identify why they were good. The questions that were bad, the teachers had to identify why they were not such a good question. This is an example of one of those questions that the teachers came up with. We gave them a card and said why this would not be a very effective question. One of the biggest things I feel like I got out of the program was a book study and implementing a book study. I feel that as a school leader, this is definitely something I would want to use and utilize in the future. It's a small group of teachers. I had a group that I ate lunch with that we went through and read several books. We all chose different books. Of course, there were 2 books that we did as part of my program. And this is this group of guys. This is at the end of the year. We had a little lunch to celebrate our book club. And you can see the guys here, Mr. Smith, Mr. Brown, Mr. Kelly, and Mr. Maxwell. We're all sitting around with the books that we read throughout the course of the year. I feel that this would be very effective in a school in having these small groups and allowing teachers to come up with things that they feel like they need to work on and finding books that would help them come up with ideas and ways to improve. Working effectively. With differentiation, we really wanted to figure out some ways to give teachers quick ways of utilizing differentiation. We wanted to model best practices and shrink the workload of assigning advisors to parental contacts. One of the problems that teachers identified was that they have 150 students, and it's very difficult to keep track of those students, not only in their class, but all of the classes. In Banks County High School, we have an advisor program. advisors meet with a small group of students, 15, 16 students, every week. So we decided to allow those teachers to be the ones that make parental contacts. Those teachers would pull up those students' grades each week. They would sit down and talk with them about their grades, and then they would contact parents if they were having any difficulty in any of their classes. This is some of the ideas that we gave teachers as far as differentiation. We went through and gave them some different examples of these. These are just a real quick, handy thing that they could look at as far as low prep differentiation and high prep differentiation. We really this year wanted to begin slowly and work on like ways that they can incorporate low prep differentiation very easily. This is part of our formative assessment training where teachers could come up with ways of assessing students at the beginning of class or throughout the lessons, and come up with questions and ways that they could help identify ways that students need to improve. Standard 3 really deals with the managing and organization and operation. I feel like this is one of my strengths, one of the biggest parts, one of the best parts of me as a leader, and that I am able to organize and manage a lot of different things going on at one time. Managing team operations, I feel, is very important. One of the things I always want to do with my team is I always want to make sure they know the practice plan. I want to make sure they know the schedules of where we're going, when we're leaving. I give them a monthly calendar every month to make sure that they know exactly what's happening, because the unknown or not knowing what's going to happen sometimes causes a lot of stress. It's also very important to provide a safe environment, provide the equipment that your players or teachers need, and develop a game plan, constantly developing a game plan to get better. One of the things that we did was, as far as take away stress, is develop a proctor schedule for Georgia milestones. We also split up Honors Day. In the past, Honors Day has been done at the gym, and one time with the freshmen, the sophomores, and the juniors, we had a separate night for senior honors night. So this year we split that into two, and I kind of headed that up and made sure that all of that took place. Also, I have to manage monthly reports for the athletic accounts. It's very important for the coaches to know where we are as far as the athletic program, and also where their teams are financially. Another thing that we did this year that I led was a new teacher and orientation. Our county has always done a new teacher orientation, but our school has not. So this year, I headed that up and made sure that the teachers came in and knew, where the things were, the resources in the school that they would need. I also paired them up with a mentor teacher, and I touched base with them monthly to make sure that all their needs were being met, anything that they need. This is just an example of one of the things I had to organize as far as a proctor schedule for milestone testing. This is something that we would develop, and then parameters would change, and I would have to change things. But it worked out really well, and that the teachers knew going into the milestone testing where they had to be and what they would be proctoring on each day. This is also just more of that milestones testing schedule. I also did a short orientation. Dr. Rockmore came and visited me during this, and to the faculty, where we talked about the different things that we would be doing during the milestone testing. This is an agenda for the Honors Day. This is the 9th grade Honors Day. We have a 9th grade transition wing in our school. We don't keep the 9th graders completely separate from our school, but they do have a group, a team, I guess, of 9th grade teachers. We did a 9th grade Honors Day in our auditorium, and this is an agenda for that I put together. This is an example of the athletic budget, the monthly budget that I would hand out to the coaches at our meetings when we would talk about where our money was going and where it had been spent. This is also new to the athletic department. When I took over in the athletic department, they did not have a yearly budget. They basically took in money that came from the county All Sports Booster Club. However, this enabled us to be able to better manage our money, and also gave us more transparency, which developed a trust among the coaches. This is a year-end meeting with the coaches. This is just an agenda that we went through right at the end of the school year.